One word to describe Caitlin Clark.
Amazing.
Yes.
A beast. She is the truth.
It's intense. Caitlin Clark is off that shit now. She let it all slide the first year. They was pushing her and all that. She like, you know what?
I'm in here.
I'm here.
I'm here.
I'm here, and this is what it's going to be this year.
Caitlin Clark finally stood up for herself. No more staying quiet.
There's hype, and then there's impact. Most rookies enter the league quietly, trying to find their footing, earn respect, and adjust to the pace. But Caitlin Clark skipped the slow build entirely. She entered the WNBA loud, confident, and completely unshaken. Her presence demanded attention, from deep threes that felt personal to no-look passes only she could see. Caitlin didn't wait for the spotlight, she seized it. And one NBA legend took notice. Larry Bird, who rarely speaks publicly, sent a message loud and clear this season. He sees Caitlin Clark, and is not holding back, because what she's doing isn't just impressive, it's historic. And when Larry Bird speaks, it means something. Especially when it's about someone who's actively rewriting the game in real time. Caitlin Clark hasn't just arrived, she's shifted the entire landscape of women's basketball. Her presence has become must-see, drawing praise from NBA legends like Bird, Hall of Fame coaches, and former All-Stars alike. She's not just sparking conversation, she's commanding it, forcing even the most seasoned voices in the game to pay attention and weigh in. Her impact isn't a moment, it's a movement. Because Caitlin Clark isn't just a rising star riding a wave. She's a force of nature. A disruptor. A cultural flashpoint. The kind of athlete who changes the energy in every arena and redefines what's possible every time she steps on the floor. Some are calling her the future. Others say she's already the best show in basketball. But one thing is clear, this isn't just a hot start. It's history in motion. Before the stats. Before the triple-doubles. Before the three-point record pace. Caitlin Clark did something that very few athletes manage to do, she made people care. Not just fans or the media, but the voices who shape the narrative of sports. And when Stephen A. Smith, arguably the loudest and most influential voice in basketball media, steps up to talk about Caitlin Clark, it's not a clip you scroll past. It's a moment that matters. Because this isn't Stephen A. being asked, he brings it up himself.
I totally applaud what Caitlin Clark is doing. She's putting the WNBA first. She's saying, yo, we matter first to me. We should matter first to the lady.
This is one of the most outspoken personalities in sports media, a man known for being critical, calculated, and unfiltered. And yet, here he is not just defending Caitlin Clark but celebrating her. Not just for her shot-making and scoring, but for something deeper, her priorities. Caitlin isn't just playing the game, she's elevating it. She's walking into press conferences and reminding everyone that women's basketball isn't a sideshow. It's the main event. And she's doing it with poise and purpose, in a way that demands respect. With every bucket, every pass, and every quote, she's proving she's not just here for herself, she's here to lift the entire league. NBA media sees it. And slowly, the world is starting to see it too. When you're getting compared to Magic Johnson, that's not just any compliment. That's an actual coronation. Magic knows what it means to be more than a star. He didn't just light up the league with his passing or charm his way through highlight reels, he transformed how the NBA looked, how it played, and how it was talked about. So when Magic Johnson looks at Caitlin Clark and says she's doing the same thing, that's legacy-level respect.
I love it because, to your point, they dominated in college. And
as you both did.
Yes. And then they brought it over to the WNBA, just like we brought it to the NBA. We changed the NBA. They changed the WNBA.
Yeah.
This is a Hall of Famer not just praising her skills, but aligning her impact with what he and Larry Bird did for the NBA. That's not something you say lightly. Magic sees how Caitlin's game commands attention, how she carries the spotlight like it's part of her uniform, and how she's helping turn a league into a movement. She's not just lifting her team, she's lifting the entire ecosystem of women's basketball. New fans. More eyes. Bigger money. And the momentum the league desperately needs. So when someone like Magic Johnson connects the dots between what Caitlin is doing now and what changed basketball forever in the 1980s, that's not just validation. That's history recognizing history in the making. And what do you do when one of the greatest coaches in basketball history says he would have loved to coach you? You listen. Coach K isn't just a Hall of Fame coach, here's the blueprint. 5 national titles. 3 Olympic gold medals. More NBA lottery picks than most college programs have wins. He's coached LeBron, Kobe, KD, and Curry. And now he's watching Caitlin Clark and seeing something rare. Something special. Something he would want to build around.
Flagrant foul that she committed the other day. I thought it was a hard foul. I didn't think it was a flagrant foul, but I think they do that, Dan, because they overreact to everything Caitlin does. Is they don't want to show like they're showing any favoritism to her. So we got to upgrade it to a flagrant foul, because if we don't, then people say, well, we're protecting her by not upgrading it to a flagrant foul. So I think that's why the referees overreacted.
Yes, the scoring is undeniable. The logo threes are everywhere. But what Coach K focuses on is the passing and feel for the game, the ability to control without forcing. He calls her a magical passer. And that word matters. Because that's not just about assists, it's about vision, timing, and anticipation. The kind of stuff that doesn't always show up on stat sheets, but wins games. She doesn't just make the right play, she sees it before it happens. She's not just running the offense, she's elevating everyone in it. And when a coach who's worked with the greatest basketball minds alive says, I would have done exactly what she did, he's giving you his stamp of approval. That's Coach K watching Caitlin Clark and seeing a leader, a connector, and a generational basketball IQ all in one. In a world full of highlight reels, flashy edits, and scripted sound bites, sometimes the shortest answers say the most. Luka Doncic, MVP candidate, All-NBA mainstay, one of the most unguardable players in the world. He doesn't do dramatic speeches. He doesn't talk just to talk. So when someone asked him point blank, who's your favorite women's basketball player? He didn't blink. Caitlin Clark. Really? Yeah.
Caitlin Clark was a bad guy. She was the one that was f***ing with everybody, doing all this, waving, turning her back on everybody. Everybody's like, oh, she's a cocky little...
That's it. That's all he needed to say. And honestly, that might be the most Luka answer possible. Because real ones recognize real. Luka knows what it takes to dominate from day one, to enter the league with expectations strapped to your back and still manage to control the game. When he watches Caitlin Clark, he sees more than talent. He sees command, the same kind he plays with. He's not a WNBA analyst. He didn't prepare a statement. He just said what came to mind. And that's what makes it hit harder. There are 1,000 ways to say someone is great. But for a player like Luka, whose own greatness is defined by feel and instinct, this kind of answer means even more. It tells you Caitlin Clark isn't just popular. She's respected by the best. Her game translates. Her swagger doesn't just work in college or the WNBA, it resonates with the elite. She's already got the best watching. And you know you've broken through when your name gets mentioned next to icons. Not just basketball icons, but cultural forces.
Yeah, well, she's terrific. And it'd be easy to build something on her because she's the best thing she does is pass. She's a magical passer, and she has a great feel for the game. So, I mean, what her coach did, I would have done exactly what she did. Make sure she handles the ball a lot, and she'll make everybody better.
Colin Cowherd doesn't deal in hot takes for shock value. He crafts narratives. He connects sports to society. So when he starts listing names like Tiger Woods, LeBron James, and Taylor Swift, he's not just talking about success. He's talking about impact. He's talking about people who didn't just dominate their field, they changed how people viewed the field itself. And without flinching, he adds, Caitlin Clark. This isn't a knock on Angel Reese. It's a spotlight on how rare Caitlin really is. Phenomena don't happen often. They're the ones who shift ratings, sell jerseys, crash ticket sites, and turn a Tuesday night into a must-watch event. That's what Caitlin is doing. Not just for the WNBA, but for the entire sport. She's not waiting for the league to catch up. She's dragging it into the spotlight herself. So when Colin Cowherd says, you belong, in the same breath as Tiger and LeBron, he's not talking about potential. He's talking about presence. Caitlin Clark doesn't just have the spotlight. She is the spotlight.
Clark finally stood up for herself. No more staying quiet. Seeing her shut down Angel Reese was just the start. Now it's her turn to go at the other woke players who thought she wouldn't fight back.
There's a weight that comes with being the one. It's not just about attention, it's about how every move gets scrutinized. Caitlin Clark plays with fire. That's part of what makes her special. But when you're the face of the league, whether officially or not, the target on your back gets bigger. And as Michael Thompson points out, sometimes that pressure isn't just from opponents. It's from the system around her. This is a former NBA champion, the father of a perennial all-star, saying what a lot of people are thinking, Caitlin Clark is under a microscope. The spotlight she earned doesn't just shine on her, it magnifies her. And because people are afraid of seeming biased in her favor, they end up being biased against her. She's being held to a different standard. Not just by critics, but by officials. And yet, she keeps showing up. She keeps hooping. Because when you shift culture, people don't always know how to respond. But Caitlin does. Then there's Jeff Teague. Raw. Unfiltered. Unapologetically honest. He's not here to sugarcoat. He's here to tell it how it is. So when the topic of Caitlin Clark comes up, he doesn't dodge. He doesn't deflect. He just tells the truth.
What I want to see in the WNBA All-Star Game, I want to see Sabrina Ionescu shoot against Caitlin Clark.
Yeah, me too.
I want to see that three-point shooting contest.
Yeah, facts.
That's dope. Hopefully it'll be there. It's in Indiana this year, right?
Yep.
Like if we being real, what do Angel Reese got that Caitlin Clark gonna get? Why would she hate her? It's not about drama. It's not about rivalry. It's about truth. Jeff Teague is pointing out the elephant in the room. The tension. The comparisons. The way two young stars, who should be building the future of women's basketball together, are constantly framed like enemies. What Jeff is saying goes deeper than just names. He's calling out a double standard. A narrative that turns every headline into a battle. And in the middle of all that, Caitlin Clark. Doing what she always does. Showing up. Playing her game. And catching heat simply for being excellent. Teague isn't criticizing Angel. He's questioning the hate. Why does Caitlin's success have to mean someone else is losing? Why is her rise met with resentment instead of respect? The truth is, Caitlin Clark isn't being handed anything. She's earning it. With every deep three. Every full-court assist. Every sold-out arena. And Jeff knows it. That's why he doesn't hedge. He doesn't sugarcoat. He just keeps it real. Because at the end of the day, it's not about which player you root for. It's about respecting the ones who change the game. And Caitlin Clark? She's doing exactly that. There's always a tipping point in every star's rise. The moment when admiration turns into agitation. When the player who once captured everyone's attention becomes the one they all want to beat. For Caitlin Clark, that shift came fast. And as Gilbert Arenas puts it, she didn't just walk into the villain role. She owned it.